Ukrainian and American officials say that they had made good progress over the weekend in talks about a contentious American plan to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. This even as US President Donald Trump has lashed out at Ukraine and its President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying they were thankless for the support that America has given over the years. Trump has set a deadline of Thursday, which is Thanksgiving Day in America, for Ukraine to agree to his 28-point peace plan. But many Ukrainians, including their President Zelensky, has dismissed the plan as capitulation to Russia because it accedes to long-standing demands made by Moscow, something which Ukraine has been loath to accepting in these last 3 years of the war. The plan would basically need Ukraine to give up substantial amounts of its territory and reduce the size of its standing army, both of which make it vulnerable to more aggression by Moscow.
No, not my fault. No, we'd like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago. The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened. If I were president, it never would have happened. We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended.
The talks, which began in Geneva on Sunday, were cast as an effort to bridge the gaps between the Russian and Ukrainian positions. At one point in the talks, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio briefly ducked out of the meetings and he told reporters that the discussions had been very productive. Rubio said that the American and Ukrainian teams were working through this peace plan put forth by President Trump point by point, and they were making adjustments. He also said that both sides were narrowing their differences and they were getting closer to something that both Kyiv and Moscow would be comfortable with. But there was also confusion over the plan itself, with many, even within the administration, saying that it seemed to reflect a lot of Kremlin's talking points, not so much that of Ukraine.
We arrived here today with one goal, and the goal was to take, is 28 points or 26 points, depending on which version as it continued to evolve, and try to narrow the ones that were open items. And we have achieved that today in a very substantial way. But work remains, and because this continues to be a working process, I don't want to declare victory or finality here. There's still some work to be done.
Rubio signed off from the peace talks by saying that he was very optimistic that a peace plan could be reached in a very reasonable amount of time. While there was still a couple of issues that needed to be worked on, Rubio said that those items remain open and they're not insurmountable. He also made it seem like the negotiators just needed a little more time. He declined to go into the specifics of what exact points were sticking between the American and Ukrainian negotiators or what he was referring to, but he also noted that obviously the Russians would get a vote on this plan and they will have to agree to the plan if it has to be implemented. The cautiously optimistic remarks came despite a lengthy rant that President Trump posted on social media criticizing Ukraine. Trump lashed out at both Ukraine and its European partners, saying that they were thankless to America. Ukrainian leadership has expressed zero gratitude for American efforts, Trump wrote on Truth Social, and also that Europe continues to buy oil from Russia, thereby helping fund Putin's war effort. He also again appeared to blame Ukraine for Russia's full-scale invasion, saying that the war would have never happened had there been strong and proper Ukrainian leadership.
Yes, I had pretty close. How are you, Mr. Pretty sharp.
He's all dressed up today.
Now, this is not the first time that the American president has accused Ukraine of insufficient gratitude.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Or of being solely responsible for the war which Russia started. During a disastrous meeting with Zelensky at the White House back in February, Trump told the Ukrainian leader that he was not doing enough to thank America for its support. Since then, Zelensky, as well as his other European partners, have gone out of their way to express their thanks to Trump.
Disrespectful to the country, this country.
Zelensky did so again this weekend in a series of statements not long after Trump's social media rants. Zelensky welcomed the substantive conversations happening in Geneva, and he appeared to respond to Donald Trump's latest accusations. But whether or not he will be able to seal this deal through, much of which would be outright Ukrainian surrender to Russia, still remains to be seen.
Важливо, що розмова з американськими представниками є, і є сигнали, що команда президента Трампа чує нас.
Ukraine's European allies, some of whom have sent representatives to Geneva to take part in these discussions, have been racing against time to respond to Trump's plan. they want to demonstrate their continued support for Kyiv, even though they don't fully support the 28-point peace plan. A joint statement was also put out on Saturday, signed by the leaders of Britain, France, and Germany, saying that the American proposal was only a starting point for the discussions and that there would be additional work if both sides have to meet and find a common ground. While Trump has said that he wants Ukraine's response on the 28-point peace plan by Thursday, which is Thanksgiving Day in America, he has left open the possibility that the deadline could be extended if things are working well. A draft of the US peace proposal that was posted online last week contained many conditions which Ukraine has long rejected as unacceptable. This includes surrendering a large part of its eastern areas, the Donbass region, which Russia has long sought after, also slashing the Ukrainian army's size substantially. There was also confusion over who was the author of this plan exactly. At one point, a number of US senators said that Secretary Rubio had told them that the State Department had nothing to do with this plan. Both the department and Mr. Rubio went on to deny those claims. But the ball is now firmly in Zelensky's court and in the court of the Ukrainians, whether or not they will be able to swallow this deal at all. If they cannot, then they have the wrath of Trump to deal with. And if they do, then they are forever surrendering to Putin.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.